What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another album review. And do not mind me, I honestly just woke up and I'm having a bad habit of just waking up wanting to do album reviews. Well, now that I think about it, it's not a bad habit, it's more of a good habit. So maybe I just need to go to sleep more often and then wake up just wanting to do an album review, but that's really besides the point. Today, if you haven't already read the title, we are going to be doing Outkast Stankonia. This is Outkast's fourth studio album released October 31st, the year 2000 by LaFace Records and Arstra Records. Hopefully I said that right. So, without any further ado, man, let's get into this album review.
Don't everybody like to smell like gasoline? One poor motherfucker burn American dreams. Don't everybody like to taste the...
First song we have on this album is Gasoline Dreams featuring Kujo Goody. Hopefully I said his name right. For an intro song on this album, I actually liked it quite a bit. It took me off guard, especially for first listen, but obviously I've listened to this album before many times, so but just not in a while. But I feel like this song was definitely a good start, and I'll tell you why. When we start off with the production, it definitely gives you that rock and roll feel, which I think y'all know by now. I'm a little, on and off with kind of the rock and roll and hip hop, but I think this is a good mesh. I like the ongoing guitar sound, the different instruments you hear in the background. The beat type was honestly really catchy, and overall, I feel like I can get with the production. Like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So I kind of like it a little more after listening to it for a couple more times. But when we get into the lyrics, I feel like Andre on the hook was definitely really amazing. Big Boy had a very solid verse throughout this. I would even say Goody had a really good verse as well towards the end, and I feel like it was just a steady flow track. It wasn't nothing too crazy, but I feel like it definitely brings the energy up within the album, which I feel like all intro songs should have a good energy start just to let you know what you're getting into. So I would say honestly a pretty good intro. It's not an intro I would listen to all the time, but it's something I could grow to listen to more often than not.
Ain't nobody don't ask me. I'm just so fresh and so clean. Don't you think I'm so...
Next song we got on here is So Fresh, So Clean. Very, very iconic song. I mean, even still to this day, it's easily one of the most popular songs on Outkast's catalog, if not the most popular song within this album. So, I mean, who doesn't know this song, by the way? But if I could start off with the production, I mean, the production is so smooth, jazzy feel, very laid back. I love the different instruments in the background. It's just a very smoothing sound. It's something you could play in your car and just really vibe with. You know what I'm saying? So I had no problem with the production at all. I may be biased because it has been around for a while, but the production is amazing on this one. I can't lie. And then when we talk about the lyrics were definitely very dope. Big Boy's lyrics was definitely really good. I feel like it was more fitting for him more than maybe Andre, in my opinion. But I do feel like his unorthodox rhyme schemes I thought was really nice. I love how his cadence was so different compared to Andre's. His was kind of offbeat, but in a good way. And I feel like Big Boy probably had the better performance on this album, I would argue, but that's just me. And then when it comes to the hook, I mean, the hook is so iconic, so catchy. I feel like everybody knows it very well. I obviously feel like Andre's verse was definitely really, really good as well. Very good pairing. And this song will probably live on for the next 20 years on top of the 20 years it's already lived through. So, yeah, definitely. On here is Miss Jackson. Another song where I feel like who doesn't know this song? I've heard this song on the radio over 1,000 times and it never gets old. And I feel like that's what you call a classic song. That a song that just no matter how many times you hear it, you're just gonna be like, man, this song is just so good. When we start off with the production is really good. It's like a rewind of some sort that I think is very unique. It has a good little mix to it. The sounds in the background are really, really good. You'll hear, some animal sounds in the background, but a really good beat type as well. The production is just perfect. I really cannot complain at all. And then when we talk about the lyrics, Big Boy's lyrics was honestly very, very good within this album. I love the subject that matter. I love the hook. I mean, who doesn't know the hook of this song? It's just Andre's on the hook was just, amazing. Like you cannot replace his hook on this song at all, even if you tried. But Andre's verse was probably the best verse on this entire song. He just had a steady flow, good rhyme patterns, good double entendres. Amongst the greatest songs of all time. Very, very iconic, and just another song that will live on probably forever because it's probably the most popular song on this album.
Our shit don't mix like yay and lukewarm water. Better make it hotter, splash ice and watch it rock up. I order duct tape your infant daughters.
Next song we got on here is Snappin' and Trappin' featuring Killer Mike and Jay Sweet. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of the low end point of a song when it comes to this album. I didn't necessarily enjoy it that much, and I'll tell you why. I feel like when it comes to the production is definitely very different. It gives you kind of this mysterious kind of sound, and it's like weary, and it just sounds kind of weird. Like it's a sound that I just wasn't really expecting to hear throughout this album. That kind of threw me off. I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of the production, but it does sound like a production like this would be best on ATL Aliens more than likely than Stankonia, but that's just my opinion. And then when we get into lyrics, I feel like the lyrics were fine. I actually liked the Killer Mike's verse a little bit. Big Boy's verse I think was solid throughout this whole track as well, but I'm just not the production really throws me off. Like I kind of wish they would have chose something a little different, but I understand you got to make it a little bit more versatile. You got to give us something a little bit different, but it's just not. I can't really mess with this song like that. I'm not even gonna lie. I wouldn't say it's the worst song on the album, but I wouldn't say it's nowhere near the best. Like it's definitely at the bottom if I'm being honest, but that's just what I think.
Niggas elope with ski slopes and fall like avalanches. Tootin' like it's cool, you the fool, and I can't just sit around and watch those nose membranes flame.
Next song we got on here is Spaghetti Junction. I'm glad I did not mess that up. Jesus. I would argue this is probably one of the most underrated songs on this album by far. I'm surprised it doesn't have more plays, and I'll pretty much tell you why. First off, the production is amazing. It definitely gives you that southern kind of sound to it. It gives you that amazing background. I love kind of that instrument in the background. I don't know what it's called. I don't want to call it a guitar. I don't know what it is, but it just adds so much flavor to the production that I feel like is just so fitting. And I just love the beat type on here. The different drum sounds you hear in the background I thought was a very nice touch, and I would argue definitely an underrated production. I really like it a lot. But then when we get into the lyrics, I think the lyrics were dope by Big Boy and Andre. I like how they just kind of went back and forth and bounced off of each other lyrics wise. I had to say lyrics wise so y'all wouldn't think I was thinking of something else, but lyrics wise, they were just like boom, boom, and they just kept switching off. And I thought that was very unique. I thought the hook was honestly very fitting as well. Yeah, this song is really good. Like I would add this to my playlist in a heartbeat. Well, it actually is on my playlist, so there's that. But yeah, easily the most underrated song on this album, if not one of the most underrated songs in their catalog. Like definitely a very, very good listen.
Before I come, I won't just pop over out the blue.
Next song we got on here is I'll Call You Before I Come, featuring Gangsta Boo and Echo. I thought this song was definitely very unique. I like the double entendre in the title alone, I'll Call Before I Come. That could mean two different things. But honestly, I'm not mad at this song. I was skeptical at first, but I do feel like the production gives you that feel of what this song's really gonna be. It's very bubbly. It's very, throwbacky. At least at that time, it just sounds throwbacky in a way. I think the beat type was decent for the most part, but I think the production was very subtle at the same time. It wasn't doing too much. So when we get into the lyrics, I feel like the context is definitely very well known from the title alone. I feel like Gangsta Pooh verse was very, very good. I liked her verse from the beginning to the end, and I was like, dang, she raps really good, and it makes me really want to invest in more female rappers even from that time. So I honestly enjoyed this song quite a bit. I think the hook was honestly pretty good. I think everybody's verse overall was good, but I liked the Gangsta Boo's part probably the most. But it's not a song I would listen to all the time, but I do feel like I could dibble and dabble every now and then just to hear it a couple more times, and I think it's good enough for that.
Yeah, it's Slum National Underground Thunder bounce when I stop the ground like a million elephants and silverback orangutans. You can't stop a train.
Next song we got on here is B.O.B. This song, I mean, easily the most energetic song on this album, if not their entire catalog. There's just so much to say about this song, and I'll tell you why. First off, the production is amazing. It definitely gives you that anthem feel right away. It just gives you hype. It gives you that energy. It gets you wanting to dance a little bit, and I just feel like, man, like the energy this production brought was just incredible. And even the music video, if y'all seen the music video, how like iconic that was, I'm just like, dude, this is just hands down one of the best like motivational songs out there. But then when we talk about lyricism, obviously Andre did his thing. I feel like this song alone, and quote me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this song really defined him as one of the greatest rappers of all time. I would argue, because hearing his verse throughout this whole track, the way he was able to fast pace his cadence, his flow was amazing. Rhyme schemes, double entendres, punchlines were just incredible on this song. And it's just crazy how this song really influenced, I feel like, many people's favorite rappers. Like, I remember Tyler, the Creator, performing this, I believe, at the BET Awards or some awards, and it was just so iconic. Like, I loved it. Every time I listen to this song, it gives me goosebumps, because that's the kind of energy it brings. Like, it definitely brings a good energy. But I like this song a lot. I feel like this is a good wake-up song. If anything, it just brings so much energy. I probably said that too many times. But yeah, it brings a lot of energy, and definitely a very, very iconic song on this album.
Hello, now this weekend in. I just wanna make love to the whole globe and all her good friends. Now don't let make your mind move like smoke patterns.
Next song we got on here is Explosion featuring Be Real. I actually like this song quite a bit. It definitely gave you more of that mysterious, dark, spooky production sound. The B type was honestly pretty good. It just gives you that amazing background of that hollow sound, which I thought was a very nice touch. It's different from a lot of other tracks on here. I'll say that. It just gives you more of that mysterious. It gives me more AT Aliens vibes more than Stankonia vibes. I don't know why, but I could see this on AT Aliens a little more than Stankonia, if that makes sense. But then when we break down the verses, I like Andre's verse. I kind of hate how he sounds on this song. It sounds like he's kind of underwater, which I know that's the unique part of it, but like I kind of want to hear him a little bit better, if that makes sense. I mean I didn't hate it, but I just didn't love it all the way. I feel like B Real's verse was honestly pretty solid for the most part. Not nothing too crazy to think about it, but I think this song could arguably be pretty underrated. I think it's kind of a little hidden, but I think it's probably hidden for probably good reasons, because there is a lot of iconic songs within this album that I still have to go through. So I would say a safe song, but not nothing to be like crazy over.
From the reef to the fake eyes to the fake nails down to the toes. Ha 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 ha. We
Next song we got on here is We Love These. Y'all get the rest. Featuring Backbone and Big Gip. I would say another very underrated song within this album. This is pretty much Big Boy written all over it, but starting off with the production, I feel like the production was definitely really well. It definitely gave you that pimp kind of sound to it, very bubbly but amazing beat type. And just the context of the song is very obvious when you get into the lyrics. So talking about the lyrics, obviously Big Boy mentioning how a lot of these females, I'm gonna just call them females because I don't want to call them the other word that he's calling them, but he mentioned how basically all these females just want you to take them out and, you know, spend a lot of money on them, and, you know, you don't get nothing out of them at the end of the day, which is very ironic because that's how it pretty much is in today's world, even more, because that's just what women go for. Not all women, but some women, majority of women go for. So I think he was able to be very relatable throughout this song, and I feel like the features from Backbone and Big Gip, I feel like were fine, but they seemed really offbeat a lot of the times, which I didn't really like. I feel like Big Boy was the only one that was consistently on beat and giving good points, and I feel like they didn't really do much of anything. But I do like Big Boy's performance. I like how he stuck to the subject other than the other two, and I would argue it's definitely one of the more underrated songs as far as a Big Boy like song that I really enjoyed.
Humble as a mumble in the jungle of shouts and screams. That's the way the cracker crumbles, so I guess I've got to be right.
Next song we got on here is Humble Mumble featuring Erykah Badu. Another very, very underrated song, and I don't know how this song does not have more plays than it do. I mean, it should easily be up there with a lot of the other songs, but I'm gonna tell you why. When we start off with the production, I feel like they did exceptionally well with the production. I love the different instruments in the background. The beat type was amazing. It was very just, I don't know how to really describe it, but it's a feel-good kind of production in a way, and it just gives you so many different sounds in the background, and I loved it. I would argue it's definitely one of the more underrated productions within this album. But then getting into the performance, dude, Big Boy and Andre rapping ability on here was insane. Like, it was just, they were rapping at such a fast pace. I love the hook on here. You know, Andre and I believe Erykah Badu was on the hook. I don't know if that was exactly her, but like, the hook was definitely really good. I love their rap performance, but I have to give it to Erykah Badu's like I don't know if I should call it a verse or just, her performance, but her performance was amazing. Her singing is so good. It's sometimes when I listen to it, I get goosebumps because her performance is just, I'm gonna say it again. It was just amazing. Like, I really like Erykah Badu on this song. I think this is probably one of the more underrated collabs I've heard throughout the 2000s of rap or hip hop in general, because it was definitely needed. And I just wish this song would get more attention, because I don't get how it's not as big as, I don't want to say B.O.B., but like, I think it should just be up there. Like, it's very well sounded. Like, I really enjoy it a lot. And really, there's nothing bad I can say. I don't know. But if y'all haven't listened to this song, man, give it a listen. I think this song is exceptionally perfect, dang near.
Now Peter Piper picked the pepper, that was his downfall. I'm down with Drake 2000 cause he got my back, y'all. Ball if you want to, but do it with some class, G.
Next song we got on here is Red Velvet. Now, I like Red Velvet a lot, especially cake-wise, but obviously that's not what he's necessarily talking about. But I like this song a lot. I think this is another ironically another underrated song, and I would say Big Boy is written all over this. I feel like the production right away is very nostalgic. Like, I really like how subtle it is. You'll hear glimpses of different sounds in the background, but man, I just like the nostalgia of the production. It's very, it brings me back for some reason. I might have heard this song as a kid or something, but I could really mess with it. And then when we talk about the performance, I love the storytelling of Big Boy on this song. I thought it was very, very good. I like how he was able to flow with the beat, different rhyme schemes, different rhyme patterns. I thought was definitely very, very good. I feel like this is another one of those Big Boy songs that just don't get enough attention until you're a real listener and you want to listen to the album from front to back and you get a glimpse of this song and you be like, dang, why isn't this song as bigger than it already is? But I enjoyed this song a lot. I would argue definitely another underrated song and definitely a very, very good listen.
Do you really wanna know about some gangsta shit? Do you really wanna know about some gangsta shit? Do you really wanna know about some gangsta shit? Outkast really involved in the dungeon kid.
Next song we got on here is Gangsta-ish. Y'all know the rest. Featuring Slim Calhoun, C-Bone, and Timo. This song was very, very good. I was kind of skeptical on it because, for one, I'm thinking, okay, how does Andre fit on this song? Because I just feel like he's not really that gangsta-sided like that. If y'all know Andre, I don't see him like that. But everybody else on this song was definitely really good. But to talk about the production first, the production was definitely very good. It definitely gave you that kind of pimp gangsta sound in the background. Whoops. Sorry, my camera shook. I messed with the carpet. But anyways, so I feel like everybody else's performance was definitely very well, though. Andre's performance caught me off guard because I didn't know how well he would fit, but he fitted very well. Just the overall sound was very good. This song is pretty long, but I feel like everybody was able to get their verse in at a good timing, and I would argue again, another underrated song on this album that I feel like everybody just skipped past for whatever reason. But I feel like it's very fitting at the same time. It's really cool. And I love the anthem of it as a hook wise.
Have you heard the news today? Sell a 40-year-old girl had a baby on the way.
Next song we got on here is Toilet Tisha. I'm not gonna lie, I was very skeptical on this song because the sound overall, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I kind of had a change of heart within this song, and I'll tell y'all why. When we start off with the production, I'm not the biggest fan of the production at all. Like, it's it gives you more of that outer line of like, who can I think of? Like, the production wise, it gives me more Prince, if that makes any sense. It gives you more of that Prince vibe where you can hear the influence within the production where you feel like Prince could really be on this song and make it something. But I just feel like in an Outkast aspect, I just wasn't expecting it, and it just I couldn't really get with it. I can't even really say I like it because I just don't. But that's just me. When we get into the performance, that's where I had a kind of change of heart because at first I'm like, I'm not messing with this. But as I got into the song a lot more, listening to the storytelling aspect, it definitely gave me more vibes of like Brenda's Got a Baby by Tupac. It gave you that kind of aspect of the storytelling, and I thought that was very unique. Do I think they should have chose better options of a performance and a production to do that? Yes, but again, it's giving you that more versatility that Outkast can produce. So I'm not mad at it, but I'm not happy. This isn't really a song I would listen to often, but I wouldn't say it's the worst song on this album neither. I do feel like it has potential as being one of the better storytelling songs, but like it's just not within this album. It just doesn't work maybe as much as you would want it to. So just be self-aware of that.
Slum beautiful. Driving out come crazy.
Next song we got on here is Slum Beautiful featuring CeeLo Green. My bad, y'all, not CeeLo Green, just CeeLo. But I feel like this song was like it wasn't really my favorite. If we're going into the production, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It screams boring. It screams very boring. You'll hear different sounds, but the beat type wasn't really there. The overall sound was just like very dull to me. I was just like, ugh. I guess we're really at the part of the album where it starts to die down very quickly. So yeah, the production is probably the worst production throughout this album. And then when we go off of performance, I feel like the performance was fine. I mean, Big Boy did his thing, but I just feel like he was trying to rap too fast over such a slow production, and I just I didn't think it really made sense. CeeLo's part was like okay, like I didn't care for it if I'm being honest. I don't know, man. Like if I have to say the worst song on this album, it could probably be this. Like I could care less if this song went away for good because it doesn't do anything for me personally. Yeah, I just personally pass on this. The last song we have on this album is Stankonia, which is self-titled, featuring Big Rude and Sleepy Brown. If I had to say for an outro song, I'm not the biggest fan of this being the last song on the album. I'm not gonna lie. The production was very slow, very boring, and it just made me like essentially tired, like tired physically of like listening to this song because it screamed boring right off the rip. And performance wise, I'm not gonna lie, I don't care. Like for this to be the last song, it didn't do it for me. Like I couldn't vibe with it. I couldn't be like, man, there's so much in this song that's missing, and I just couldn't do it, bro. Like I just I don't know. I feel like they did this on purpose because how do an album so great start off so good And then towards the end, it just keeps going down, lower and lower. And it's just like, oh my God. So, I mean, if I could argue between this song and the other song with CeeLo being the worst song, they both can go hand to hand at this point. I don't care for this song. This song is nearly 7 minutes. So brace yourself if you're ready to listen to a 7 minute song. Be my guest, but definitely just not a great outro song at all. I definitely skip this song as well. All right, y'all, we are finally at the point of the video where I'm going to be breaking down the 5 credentials of this album. If y'all don't know the 5 credentials, I'll put them right here. Keep them on the screen just so y'all don't miss anything. But the first credential I'm going to talk about is production. The production was exceptionally well on here. I love the different versatility sounds you get, the different instruments. It gave you very unique sounds that you don't hear in a lot of songs even till this day. And imagine the different sounds they were able to do in the year 2000. Like, it's so unbeatable. Now, there are some productions that towards the end of the album that were very lack worthy and weren't that great. But for the production that was good, I mean, I can't deny the greatness from those productions being elite tier. So if I had to give the production 1 through 10, even with the bad production towards the end of the album, I still have to give it a 10 out of 10. Like, the production is just so amazing. I would argue it's probably the better produced album out of Outkast's catalog, I would argue. But I enjoyed it a lot, so 10 out of 10. Next one we got is features. I feel like the features were definitely interesting. It definitely gave you different names that you probably haven't heard in a while, or just different names that you wouldn't expect to hear on an album like this. Like Gangsta Pooh's part was definitely really good. Erykah Badu's part was amazing. There were a couple more features on here that were actually really good. I can't remember vividly. But then there were some features where I could care less. Like, so as far as features, there's some ups and then there's some downs. So if I had to give it really a 1 through 10, I'd probably give it a solid 7. I think a 7 is fine. I think some features were better without. And then some features were definitely very needed. So a 7 out of 10 I think is solid. Next up we got is rap performance. Rap performance was amazing by Andre and Big Boy, and I feel like Big Boy definitely held his own. I feel like Big Boy, when it comes to a rap performance on an album with Andre, does not get enough credit because we all know how great Andre 3000 is. But we got to recognize that Big Boy can easily keep up with Andre as well. And I feel like Big Boy definitely deserves his respect. I love how they were able to just give you different sound patterns, different flows, different cadence throughout the album. I really enjoyed that a lot. If I had to give it a 1 through 10, I'm giving it a solid 10 out of 10. I think it's definitely up there with one of the better rap performances in Outkast albums in general. Next one we got is context. I feel like the context-wise was definitely very useful. I love the storytelling aspect of each song. I love how each song had its own meaning to it. I like how they were able to just break it down to you in a timely fashion. The context alone within each song made sense for why it was called this song, because they broke it down very well. Context 1 through 10, I'm easily gonna give like a 10. Like, it just, there's nothing short of amazing of what they did with every aspect of what they were talking about. Like, it's just perfect to me. So yeah, a 10 out of 10 is definitely what I'm gonna give it. And last but not least, we have album cover. I think the album cover is very unique. Obviously, you have the white and black American flag in the background. Obviously, the iconic, just standard pose that, both of them are doing. And obviously, you see Big Boy with like some hair, which is, it's almost like amazing to see. Um, the thing is, if this was my first time looking at this album cover, I wouldn't have thought much of it. But knowing how iconic it is and knowing how many times duos try to replicate this album cover, I could see why. Because you're getting two different aspects of two different rappers. Like, Andre is more of the, like, mysterious out there kind of person that will try different sounds. And, Big Boy's more of the, keep it simple, keep it standard kind of guy. So, if I had to give the album cover 1 through 10, I mean, I give it a solid 8. Like, it's not that gravitating, but it is very iconic as well. If nobody was trying to replicate this, I'd probably give it like a 6, but I think an 8 is very fair because maybe that flag behind them means more of a message than maybe we think. So, could maybe have context to it. All right, y'all, we are finally down to the final verdict of this iconic album that I have not listened to as a whole in a while. But from every aspect I pretty much spilled to y'all, I am honestly going to give this a 9 out of 10. This album is just iconic. Like, I don't know how else to spill it. I don't know how else to say it. But that will conclude today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, like, subscribe, and comment down below what other albums y'all want me to do. Also, click the link down in my description for all my social medias. But yeah, man, I'll catch y'all next time.